Hey guys, XJ here, and today's gonna be the patch 13.1b notes. This is like a hotfix patch, not an actual patch. I'm not sure what the implications are. Like, I'm not sure if it limits on how much they can do. I think that's what it means. Like, so they can only put a certain amount of things into a hotfix. So yeah, we're gonna go right into this. So game plans gain nerfed. AD growth was 4, now it's 3.7. Also, I believe AD growth. I'm not sure if it's like a flat amount or not. I don't, because I think it's like armor and like armor per level. So I'm not quite sure about that. I'm pretty sure it's not like 3.7 every level. Bonus damage on critical strike on his E powder keg was 10%, now it's 5%. Reason for this nerf is just because they're buffing AD carry like crazy this patch. So overall, probably good. We'll see how he ends up. Heimerdinger has been being played in like I haven't seen Heimerdinger, but apparently he's been played like pro play and people play him a lot. Uh, he got it pretty substantially nerfed. His turret health was 175 to 700. Now it's 130 to 640. The biggest implication here is the early game. I think now the turrets can die in an auto attack and an ability, unlike say like I don't know most champions probably. When before you probably use an ability and like two autos and it would live with like 1 HP. However, um, the health of them was buffed from 5 to 4. It was 5% to 40% of AP based on level, like increased HP. Now it's 5% to 45% based on HP on level AP. So the more AP gets, the stronger they are ever so slightly. But again, he has to be a specific level. I believe this means like as you level up, you'll have a bit more health from scaling because 5 to 45% is a 40% difference. Meanwhile, 5 to 40% is a 35% difference. But again, like so Midheimer again. The early game Heimer is probably one of the most probably important phases of Heimer because uh, he's such a weird champion to verse, and it's also kind of funny because they even said he kind of lacks counterplay. That's always what I thought. People always said people aren't used to versing Heimer, but I always felt like, what were you supposed to do? You kill the turrets, but he just places them back. So I guess you just need to pick a really good champion against Heimer or something. But I'm not sure what champions those are. I don't like when people say just learn how to play around it instead of saying how to play around it. W Hextech Micro Rockets. They nerfed the base damage by 10 at all ranks. However, they gave it a 10% more AP ratio from 45% AP to 55% AP. So pretty good. Again, this hurt his early game got hurt a lot, which I think is fine. So yeah, I versed him, and I always felt like his turrets were a little bit too tanky early. Cassidy got nerfed. He was been broken for a long time. His force pulse was 21 to 13 seconds. That was 21 17. I'm not sure if he. I think he maxes is probably second. I'm not sure. But regardless, it sounds like a substantial nerf. If he maxes his second, it's a pretty big nerf. So overall, I think that's good. Kindred got nerfed. 10 less base damage on her Q dancing dance of arrows, the ones that shoot out. I think she'll still be really strong considering they just buffed AD carry items and itemization. So they'll probably need to adjust her more, honestly. So yeah, this would be good if they weren't doing the AD carry stuff, but yeah, they're doing the AD carry stuff, guys. So she's still gonna be very strong. Lilia got buffed. The AP ratio was 1.2% per 100% AP. Now it's 1.5% per 100% AP. And magic damage on her Q, it was buffed by 5% AP ratio from 40% AP to 5% AP. And same thing with the true damage. Again, if you hit the Q outer edge, you get the damage is you get bonus damage, but it's true damage. So it's not all true damage, right? It's half magic, half true damage if you get the outer edge. Yeah. Um. E Swirl C was 70 to. So what do they do with it? It has a 15% increased AP ratio from 45% AP to 60% AP, and cooldown was 60 seconds at all ranks. Now it's 14 seconds. That's a pretty big buff on the Swirl C E. Uh, the biggest reason she's been picked in pro is because of her E. The fact that I was rebuffed, I think you'll actually start seeing her a lot more in pro play because again, her E is her whole engaged potential, and the more chances she has to engage, the more pro players are interested in picking her. Um, the Q AP ratio buff I actually like because they nerfed her base damages before quite severely. So I like that they made it so you have to build damage to get that damage back instead of just giving her insane base damages. Because before the optimal way to build Lilia was like again, maybe like one or two AP items and just like literally like frozen her and like force the nature and stuff. But now they've been hurting those tank builds a lot by making it so you have to build AP, which is nice. So I'm a big fan of that. Same thing with her passive. Like again, like they buffed it, but only if you build AP. Um, the AP ratio on her E is also pretty big too. You can still probably max this. There's an argument that can be had that you maybe even max the second, but I don't think so. The W hits so hard, so I don't think so. Lucian, base mana was 349, now it's 320. Mana growth was 38, now it's 43. Base mana regen was 8.18, now it's 7. Mana regeneration growth was 0.7, now it's 0.8. This pretty much just hurts early game Lucian with his mana cost and his ability to go in early, but it buffs him like later on in the game, and this is mostly because of pro play. People abuse his early game, and later in the game in average play, people don't know what to do with them mid game and late game, so they just buff that. So that's fine. I think that's fine as well. Maokai got a slap on the wrist. Um, bonus damage to monsters was 120 to 200. Now it's 100 to 180. Sapling toss got nerfed by 1% bonus. It was 6% bonus health ratio. Now it's 5% bonus health ratio, and it was 40% AP. Now it's 35% AP. Empowered sapling was nerfed from 12% bonus health to 10% bonus health, and it used to be 80% AP. Now it's 70% AP. Also, the thing that irks me the most is inconsistency. So it's like, why do you highlight this change, but then you don't highlight this was changed? You know, like the empowered magic damage, the change was highlighted, but this change, I again, like, those are just little things that irk me. As in, like, I don't, it just irks me. I don't know why they do that. But again, like, this is, again, compare this to when Maokai was first reworked or whatever, like, I don't know, 2 months ago. This is so strong. It's not even funny. Like, this needs to get lowered to literally like 40 to 100, like 40, 60, like, even like, honestly, like, you could even do something like, let me think. I'm analyzing right now, so give me a second. Like, you could even do like 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. I'm not joking. Like, even that, I think that's a good solution. Make it that 80 to 100. Why does it need to be such a huge growth? I don't like this. I hate this so much. It's so crazy. Like, whenever I've suggested jungle buffs, I've always said, like, give Nico 20 more damage on her, like, Q per proc, so 60 total damage. Wow. 60 damage on an ability with like a nice cooldown. You know what does Maokai get? 100 damage. He had 120 damage. It's like double the amount I like had in my mind to be recommended. It's crazy. Um, again, like, Maokai's E with 3 items will still take away 50% of your HP. And yeah, Demonic got nerfed this patch, but it doesn't matter. Wow, 48% HP. Wow, what a difference. Um, Also, I just want to say one thing that irks me about the right balance philosophy is that I've seen some writers also say things about tanks, saying, "Oh, tanks need to deal damage or then they get ignored." No, and like they're like, "Oh, if a tank in MMOs they have a hit me button like a taunt." Well, the thing is, I never played World of Warcraft, so I don't know what you're talking about. But like, again, one of the best times I had fun playing tanks like Nautilus in the jungle was back on release, like season 2, I think, and maybe in early season 3. But back then, Nautilus didn't really deal any damage, really. But he had so much CC. Like, he's so much CC that he still picked today. That's how much CC he had so much CC in his kit. He was like the definition of a tank without a taunt. Like, because Rammus has a taunt. He's like a traditional tank. But Nautilus was that CC guy that goes in and just goes. It's pretty cool. It was also kind of cool thematically because, he's supposed to be like an abyssal diver. And it's kind of like he just goes in. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like Bash the Theme. But nowadays, it's like, oh no, Nas has to deal a lot of damage himself, or he'll just get ignored. No, it's about timing your CC. Like, oh, being in the front and being like, okay, let me ult this guy, and let me auto, and then let me like time my CC perfectly, or hey, let me Q this person, but save my ult for when someone engages on my carries. And because when you give tanks all these damages, it just creates the problem of League has too much damage. Like, if you look at like champions like Master Yi, for instance, he used to have 10 to 30 true damage on his E. I remember back in the day, I had no issue versus Master Yi. What is it nowadays? It's it's 30 to 50 true damage. And on top of that, back in the day, runes didn't exist. And now we have the broken runes compared to the old rune pages we used to have. And the ratio was also from 15% 80 to a bonus 80 to like 20, like 30% is now. And it's just like, if you look at all these champions, you'll literally look that, like, we have like the mega buff champion. Like people say, release of this champion was broken. Okay, well, nowadays we have release and then some. Like, instead of doing 200 damage at rank 3, it's like 280, and like no one notices. It's like it's right there in front of your face. And it's a little rant, but like, damage creep is real in this game on top of the rune system. And another thing that annoys me is that they don't want to nerf Blade of the Rune King even by 1%. I honestly think they should nerf Blade of the Rune King from 12% damage on melees to 11%. Don't do 10%. Again, why do we need to do a whole even number? Just do 1%. Because it needs to get nerfed. It needs to get nerfed. Why? Because it was even a good item. It was even a good item before, but it was like underground because it was not super broken. Because League players only do things when it's so obvious it's like in front of your face. Um, that the HP of everyone went up. So why did Blade of the Kings keep 12% HP when it just means it just does more damage? It's no, just make it go down to 11% for melees. And I don't know why they don't do that. But instead of like, you can't do that because no one builds it otherwise. Like, no, you never did 11%. Like, it frustrates me, guys. Um, I'm sorry about the rant, but it's just like, there is a world where tanks don't have to deal damage. Look at Zac. I actually think Zac should get a mini adjustment where, let's nerf the hell out of Zac's damage. Let's make his AP ratios like meh. But like, he can build AP if he wants a little bit. Like the Mock Brace can still be a cool item, but let's not make his AP ratio like 80% or 60 or 100% whatever the heck it is. And let's make Zac be a real tank where, instead of, he doesn't have a taunt or anything, but he has knockups. But even if he doesn't have knockups, every time he attacks targets with his abilities, like let's say his W, his Q, his R, he applies stacks of his goo on them. And what does his goo do? It slows you. This would be very reminiscent of Bristleback from Dota, where every time he uses his snot, he slows targets. He's a tank, and literally, if you hit his back, he does a bunch of damage. You're not supposed to attack him. However, he's still a threat, even though he doesn't deal much damage, because of his goo, and over time he has these spikes that deal more damage. Like, it tickles at first, but it does more damage as he applies it. So the longer he's in the fight, the longer you don't focus him, the more damage he does. Like, he's like a consistent threat. So why would Zac? Why don't we do something where, like, his goo applies, it makes you like move swords up to like 5 stacks. So like every stack based on level is like, between 3 to like, I don't know, 10 or 12%. And so, at level 1, he can apply a 12% slow. He ease in Qs and Ws, and oh wow, they have a 9% slow, and then he do Ws again, they have 12% slow. Like, why don't they do things like that? Instead, they make, oh, the only way we can make tanks interesting is by giving them damage. Like, how can we make champions cool? Can we add some theme to them? Like, I don't know why they don't do this. Instead, it's like, we just have to make Maokai deal 200 damage at camps. Like Maokai is like 180,000 games this patch, and it's like, oh, does everyone just love Maokai? Is everyone vegan all of a sudden? Is everyone just like a animal conservatist or whatever, where like they keep wildlife in check? No, they just want to abuse Maokai. No one cares, because I hate when rioters act like, oh, people play Relic because she has a cool theme. She's so cool. Like, no, they play her because she's broken, but they suck at her, and they say go buff her. And it's like, look at Maokai. Why do you have 100? Why do you go from like 15,000 players to like 180,000 players? Because he's broken. People don't go, oh, this tree guy is so cool. I want to play as a tree. No one does that. No one. He was cool before, but then he's ruined. Maokai was a cooler champion before, but that was ugly. Nami, uh, base damage was 70 to 230 on her W. Now it's 60 to 220, but now it has a 55% AP ratio. It used to be 50%, so a 5% increase in AP ratio. Tykar's Blessing, base damage was nerfed by 5% on ranks from 20 to 85 to 20 to 80. Oriana got changed. I'm not saying that. Her passive clockwork wind up. Why is Riot endorsing that? It was 10 to 50 damage. Levels 1, 4, 7, 10, 13, and 16. Now it's 10 to 50 damage. Sorry, if I said 10 to 15, I meant 10 to 50. It's 10 to 50 damage still, but now it's levels 1 through 18. And this is to add a more progressive power curve instead of like I'm level 3 and my clockwork wind up still does 10 damage. Instead, it's going to be like, oh, I deal like 14 damage. So I think that's a good change. I think this is a good change. Q command attack. Passive through damage reduction. The balls deals 100% damage to the first target, and damage afterwards is reduced by 10% per enemy hit. However, now it's the ball deals 100% damage to the first target hit, and damage afterwards is reduced to 70% uh, to all enemies hit after the first. So now, so it's a 30% damage reduction. So if you deal 100% damage to the first target, all the other targets take 70% of the value of that damage. This is also to help mostly her like AOE slash clearing. I'm not sure how I feel about that change. I would have to test that like in game to see how that feels. But it sounds good, but also at the same time, it sounds like kind of like removing a bit of skill from her and potentially making her bad. Like, oh, say it's a small skirmish, and it's a 2v, it's a 2v2, and then now all of a sudden like your ball does 20% less damage to that second target. So it's like, or it's not necessarily 20, but instead of doing 90% damage, it now deals 70% damage. So it's a bit of a nerf slash buff. This mostly helps her CS, I guess, but I don't think I recall her having bad time clearing. I might be wrong, but I don't know. I would have to really see. I wish I don't know. I wish I had time to play these things because I'm just curious how that feels. It's good for wave clearing, but it's a nerf to small skirmishes. But she shouldn't be small skirmishing is the thing. W command distance mana cost was 7110, now 7090. This buff is ginormous. This is I believe the second thing she maxes. I might be wrong. There might be a build where you max her E second or something, or maybe like 2 or 3 points. But regardless, this is a really big buff. R command shockwave was 200 to 350 damage. Now it's 250 to 450 damage, and the AP ratio was increased from 80% to 90%. So pretty. That's a ginormous buff. This, at level 11, she has her rank 16 or level 16 ultimate damage. That is crazy. Um, Fry's got nerfed. Magic resistance was 36. That was 32. That's good. Passive. Arcane Mastery. Increased maximum mana was 10% per 100% AP. Now 6% per 100% AP. I think these are both good nerfs. I think these are good nerfs. We'll see how he rises after. So good job. Udyr. Physical damage on his Q. The ratio was 5% per 1% bonus 80. Now it's 4% per 4% per 100 bonus 80. Bonus attack speed was 20 to 70. Now it's 20 to 80. It goes up two more per rank. So instead of 20, 30, 40, it's 20, 32, 44. This is the mostly prevent, I think, like the one shot build. So it's still pretty. 80 Udyr is still pretty strong, but it's just it won't one shot you so obviously slash earlier. It won't spike as hard as it does now. Our AP Udyr is better anyway though right now. I don't know. It's kind of funny AP Udyr is even a thing as I'm like, what happened to Tank Udyr? I'm so sad. Base damage per tick on his R was 10 to 60. Now it's 10 to 55. I'm not sure how many ticks are in this ability, but regardless, and I'm not sure how nerfing the R functions with nerfing his awakened R. I don't really know, but that's not really that big of a nerf on his R to be honest. It's more of a it's more of a nerf on even Tank Udyr, I guess. But um, R is still really strong. Q is still okay, but yeah, R is stronger still. Yumi got mega gutted because yeah, she's a 45% win rate, but like apparently like they're reworking her very soon. Some writer was like hinted on a stream that's coming up very soon. Uh, Attack range was 500, now it's 425. Basic attack damage was 55, now it's 49. Base health was 550, now it's 500. Base health regen was 7, now it's 5. Passive. When Bop and Block is ready, Yumi will gain 25 bonus range for that attack only. So that's new. So when she has her passive, she gets she gets it's like a 50 range nerf on her first attack. Her shield streak was 60 to 380 based on level. Now it's 45 to 300. That is a ginormous nerf. You and me. Adaptive force was 12 to 20 plus 12% to 20% of bonus. Now it's 12 to 20, so the base value is the same, but it's now 6 to 10% bonus. That's a ginormous nerf to Yumi. I think this is probably the nerf that I don't think anyone's gonna pick Yumi anymore, even pro play. This adaptive force was the strongest thing about Yumi because it makes that champion essentially have like half item or a whole item as long as like if let's say Zarya has two items or three item power spike with IE. Uh, what ends up happening is well now she crits for a lot more damage because her AD is so high and it's just like that adaptive force. Because I believe Yumi's AP also goes to it. I forget how it works, but pretty much if the game's like going okay, it's just crazy. It's just a big stat check and not so much gameplay. So yeah, that's the nerf right there. That's like the cherry on top. Like oh, jeez. Izumi's bonus movement speed, they got rid of the AP ratio. It used to be 2% per 1% AP. They just got rid of that. So that's not the biggest nerf, but yeah, that's just like the nails in the coffin, I guess. Zoe got magic pen on her bubble. It's 20 to 30% magic pen on her. Well, so when enemies fall asleep, they have 20 to 30% less magic resist. I think it's based on rank. It doesn't say based on level or not, but I'm pretty sure it's based on rank. So this is mostly because she's having trouble killing champions because well everyone's just tankier with more MR, more HP. So I think she think this is a good buff. It also rewards Zoe for hitting her E and also encourages more teammates to block the hit because they'll take substantially less damage from the Q. So I think that's good. I actually like that. We also don't see enough Zoe. You don't see this champion at all. Um, Fighter adjustments. Eclipse Omni event was 7%. Now it's 0%. 0%. Ability haste was 0. Now it's 15. Shield cooldown was 8 seconds for melee champions, 16 seconds for range. Now it's 6 seconds for melee and 12 for range. So melees are more likely to get that proc twice in a fight now. Oh wow. Recipe was also changed to be Sorry Dirk plus Longsword sorry. The recipe was Serrated Dirk, Longsword, Vampire Scepter. Now it's Serrated Dirk, Caulfield's Warhammer. Wow, that's it. Oh, yeah, because I guess there's no lifesteal. So it's not even there's no lifesteal anymore. But it gives ability haste and gives a shield. So, pretty interesting. Hmm. I wonder how this item is probably interesting with Ingenious Hunter now because now it can probably proc easily twice in like a very short skirmish. I'm very curious about that. I really want to try Ingenious Hunter with Eclipse on like a champion like Vi because Vi likes the stats on Eclipse, but yeah, it doesn't give ability haste, and the Omnivent was kind of worthless because she has a shield. So I'm actually very, very curious about Eclipse on Vi. But again, I'm finding in my games that you need to go like some kind of tank item early. Although Eclipse is kind of like a tank item where it gives a shield. So maybe it's fine. Maybe it is good. Maybe you go Eclipse and Radiant Virtue and Vi or something. And with Ingenious Hunter, it lowers the cooldown of both items. So that'd be pretty crazy. Although in Vi, I'm not sure if it matters until you're like level 16 because I think you'd have too much CDR. I might be wrong though. Depends on the values, but that might be a very interesting build. Radiant Virtue, Eclipse Vi with Ingenious Hunter. Could you really fit that into the build? You can only really fit that if you. I don't know. It depends though. I don't. It depends because I like running lethal tempo a lot in Vi. Although maybe Eclipse is better with Hail of Blades though because it's bursty. I don't know. Or an item got changed to have instead of 8% Omnivamp, it now is 20 ability haste, so that's all that happened there. Gorge Drinker Mythic Passive was 70 ability haste, and now it's gonna be 50 health and 3 ability haste. So I think arguably it's probably the better passive now. It's just more HP. Rara's Hydra, uh, it was 10% Omnivamp, now it's 10% Lifesteal. Ability haste was 20, now it's 25%. Cleave damage can now trigger Lifesteal. So overall on champions like Aatrox, um, so I think on abilities, so I might be wrong, but I think on abilities now this doesn't heal you anymore. Like even if you Q, um, I might be wrong because so does the lifesteal only proc? Like so does the healing only proc on autos now? Like if Aatrox Qs a wave, does he heal anymore? I'm not sure about this. They don't really give clarity, but let's assume that this is only because it should be only auto attacks. That's a pretty big nerf. I don't like. That's crazy. This hurts nerf healing a lot. This the buff it got where it now triggers lifesteal. It's more of a buff to like auto attackers. So um, funny enough, I think Nyla Nyla's Q procs lifesteal, does it not? I think it does. So this item might be extremely strong on Nyla with like shield bow and because now it stacks lifesteal. So if you go like lifesteal, you have 30% lifesteal. All of a sudden you're healing for 30% of the of the damage you deal, like of the cleave. So this item might be very strong on Nyla if I'm reading this correctly. So yeah, watch out for Nyla building Revenant's Hydra. Lol. It's already really strong. Marble Mortis. It was 10% Omni Vamp, 12% lifesteal. Wait, let me think about this item more. I'm just trying to think of if on champions like because Belveth even likes this item a little bit. Like this might be a really good item on Belveth. The only thing that sucks is she doesn't like ability haste too much. I mean, I guess it helps her E. Belveth might like this item a lot because even though this doesn't improve her Q, the ability haste, the E cooldown is so nice because like her builds really don't have any CR in it. So this might be a very strong build on Belmont because her E has lifesteal. So the cleave damage will now trigger lifesteal. So this cleave damage will trigger lifesteal. I don't know how that works though. As in like if she E's, I don't think the E because the E gives 20% lifesteal to Velvet. I'm not sure if that 20 if the cleave if it'll add the 20% of the E damage to the cleave with lifesteal. I'm not sure how that works, but regardless, it's probably very strong because even on the I'm not sure. We'll see. It's just there's a lot of applications. Mama Mortis was 10% on event, now it's 12% lifesteal, so a bit more lifesteal. Attack damage was 55, now it's 65. Ability haste was 20, now it's 0. Item recipe was Hexdraker plus Caulfield's Warhammer, now it's Hexdraker, Pickaxe plus Longsword. I think that's good. What else? I think on a lot of champions like V. I might be wrong. Does Viego and Belveth even care about the CDR on these items? I was always going with no because, but I might be wrong because they have like their E. Maybe it's a nerf. I think it actually might be a nerf. And ow, I just poked my ear, but I'm fine. Don't worry. Sorry, I have like ear racks. Um, it's probably a nerf because maybe I undervalue or underappreciate how much this CDR helps with Viego, like her and Viego's E and Q. I'm not sure though. Death Stance. Attack damage was 55, now it's 65. Armor was 45, now it's 50. Ability haste was 15, now it's 0. Defy healing and takedown was 120% bonus AD, now it's 50% bonus AD. New recipe, it was Chain Vest, Caulfield's Warhammer plus Pickaxe. Now it's Chain Vest, Pickaxe plus Pickaxe. What the hell? The double Pickaxe builds back. That's hilarious. Black Cleaver, attack damage was 45, now it's 50. Health was 350, now it's 400. You're definitely going to see a lot more Black Cleavers now. Especially with the changes I'm going to be going over on the bottom. So they adjusted Grievous Runes. So first off, Oblivion or ability power was 35, now it's 30. Grievous Runes was 25%, now it's 40%. Oh, this item is back on the menu, guys. Just broken item. Chemtech Purifier. Ooh, my legs. So the build path before was Oblivion Orb plus Bandle Glass Mirror plus 550 gold. Now it's Oblivion Orb, Forbidden Idol, and 700 gold. So more items. I guess I'm not sure what the implication of that is. Total cost. Oh, so they reduced it. I don't like that they didn't say that they should probably just make it more apparent that they reduced the gold cost. So it was 2,500 gold, now it's 2,300 gold. So 1,500. Yeah. Okay. So it was 1,700 gold before, now it's 1,500 gold. Ability power was 60, now it's 40. Ability haste was 20, now it's 15. Increased healing and shielding streak was 0, now it's 8%. Grievous Runes application rework. Now causes 40% Grievous Wounds on any damage implication. Note the ability to apply Grievous Wounds by buffing allies has been removed. Um, I'm not sure how I feel about that because so the theme with all these items I'm gonna say is that they pretty much removed the unique thing about them, like Chemtech Purifier with um if you heal an ally, their attacks or a first attack applies grievous wounds, or Thornmail, where you're the first person you CC applies 40% grievous wounds. I feel like they could have kept these, but like reworked them. Like they could have put like a cooldown on them. Like so, you build Chemtech Purifier, and it's like, oh yeah, so I don't know. I just feel like they could have just kept the effect because I kind of like that because in some champions like Soraka, like can Soraka really even like in a team fight hit? I mean, I guess for their E, but like the thing is about this is this: why should you finish Chemtech Purifier? Like, wow, let me spend 1,500 gold and just get like because they nerfed the stats, which I think is fine. They nerfed the stats, but they just remove the unique thing about it. It's like, wow, let me spend 1,500 gold to just do what Oblivion Orb does, because it's like Oblivion. So you get for 1,500 gold, you get 10 more AP, 15 ability haste, and 8 healing and shielding power. But it's like, can't you just buy items worth 1,500 gold and get like the same thing pretty much, and get like a more impactful item, like I don't know, Mikhail's Screw Crucible or something, you know? So I don't think anyone's gonna build this item. I think you're honestly trolling if you build this item. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to get like Oblivion Orb if it calls for it, and then just build I don't know. Again, like Mikhail's Screw Crucible is so strong. It's a very strong item. It's just harder to use because people do not play as a team. Um, and what I mean, because I play champions like Renata that don't really benefit from AP, but on other champions like Janna, like hey, who knows? Maybe Janna should take Horizon Focus, just like because I was watching some old League videos yesterday. Like literally, I was looking at a bunch of videos like over the past 10 years of League. I don't know why. Mine was just wandering. And in one of the videos about like the mythics, I was like, oh, here's the Janna using her Q, and they showcase the Horizon Focus. It's like, isn't that pretty good? Like Janna can Q, and like you would only know, I think, if you have like Summon Airy. I'm not sure if there's an indicator that shows that someone got hit, but like, isn't 6 seconds of revealing someone like really impactful? So I feel like even on Janna's, hey, who knows, bro? Just go Oblivion Orb, Horizon Focus, or something, Like, I think that's probably good. Even on champions like Vel'Koz, because it's even slow. It's like I feel like Horizon Focus is because they buffed the last patch. It's if it isn't already, I honestly feel like it's probably a sleeper support item. Because the reveal is just so powerful. Vision is so powerful. It's 6 seconds. Any CC or slow will reveal them for 6 seconds. That's just crazy to me. Uh, that's just so crazy. People need to start building Horizon Focus. I might even start building Horizon Focus. I need to play more champions that build that. Morale Monocon. Uh, health was 300, now it's 200. Magic Pen was 0, now it's 10. Grievous Wounds was 25%, increased to 40% if the target was has below 50% H health. Now it's 40%. There's no extra reward for hitting low health targets. So I don't know the total gold cost of this item. I wish they kind of said that here for context. I think it's like 2,500, right? Probably. Um, Again, I don't understand why you would build this. They nerfed the health. I don't think they adjusted the gold cost. They gave it 10 magic pen, but it's like is this like a 6 item type of thing then? Because it's like, why would I spend 1,700 gold just to get 200 HP and 10 magic pen? Why not just buy, I don't know, a void staff like the crystal thing that gives me like, was it 15 or 20% magic? I think it's like 15 magic pen. So that's pretty much 10%, and then you build the void staff, and then you just own. I don't know who's gonna build these items. No, if you I honestly think these items have low win rates. Who's gonna build it? I actually think this is trolling. This is only a good item if you're like last item, last item, and you already had grievous wounds and no one else built it for some reason or something, and you needed it.
Like no one's gonna build these items. That's literally my bet. No one's building these items. And hey, I'm making it the day before the patch. So guess what? Is XJ9 right? We'll see. But I don't think these items are good at all. These are just shit. There's no reason to build these items. Sorry. I'll spit my mouth. Executioner's Calling. Attack damage was 20, now it's 15. Grievous Wounds was 25%, now it's 40%. So you're going to see a lot more Executioner's Calling, that's for sure. Chainsaw. Attack damage was 20, now it's 15. I didn't know Chenpug Chainsaw only had 20 AD, really? Guess so. That's crazy. It feels like it does more. Grievous Wound was 25%. Increased to 40% if the target has below 50% HP. Now it's 40%, and yeah, there's nothing else to it. Situationally, Chempug got nerfed slash buffed because now if like in Vi, let's say Vi is one of the biggest users of this item, first item, or even second, whatever. Usually when she goes in, like when she goes in now, they immediately have 40% grievous wounds instead of they 25% and only increase if the team actually bursted. And also I think she has to. I'm not sure. That's one thing I don't know. Is if you applied physical damage to someone and they were above 50% HP, but then they got knocked down to below 50% by someone else, does it change the value from 25% to 40%? Or did it, you know, would you have to attack yourself to apply the 40%? I'm not sure about that. But overall, I mean, because the one thing that sucks about the AD nerf is that it hurts clearing like champions like Vi because jungle's competitive where they need build damage. So yeah, 5 less AD, I'm not sure how much that matters. So um, I don't know. I guess it's kind of power neutral, probably a buff. Modern Reminder got drastically changed. Build path was execute. Oh my gosh, right. I need a drink. And you know what? Wait. Grapes. Modern Reminder. I need to start drinking water like free guys. Build path. Executioner's Calling plus Zeal 750 gold. Total cost 2600. Now it's Executioner's Calling, Last Whisper plus Cloak of Agility plus 150 gold. Total cost 3000 gold. The biggest thing about this is that it's only 150 gold to complete it, the whole item. Some of the best feeling items are the ones that have a very cheap completion cost, like to combine everything. So this item feels good already. Attack speed was 20%, now it's 0%. Armor pen was 0%, now it's 3%. Move speed was 7%, now it's 0%. And Grievous Wounds was 25%, increased to 40% after hitting the same target 3 times. And now it's 40%. Um, I think this item has a lot of implications. I think on champions like Viego, this can be a very good item. The Armor Pen is of high value because of his percentage HP damage with his passive on his Q, and Blade the Rune King, and also Divine Sunder. So I think this item has a lot of potential on like champions like Viego, and champions. Viego is also a champion that would build Executioner's Calling. He traditionally never really liked Chempuk Chainsword. I remember there was a period where some people were experimenting with Chempuk Chainsword and Viego. It wasn't really that good though. So people I think started not building like Chempunk and just had other people build the Grievous, or he would just keep Executioners. But I think we'll definitely see more Viegos if it calls for it to build Executioners Calling and building more Reminder, because the 30% armor pen is very strong. It's not to be underrated or underestimated. It's very strong. The attack speed wasn't needed on Viego. The movement speed, I mean, I guess it was nice, but not really needed. He's not really like a juggernaut. Again, this nerfs mostly Garen. So I think I like this change. I like these two Grievous items are still good. These two items are good. Morello's and Chemtech is not. I don't know why I say Chemtech. Chemtech Putrefier. I don't think those are good at all. The Moral Reminder and Chemtech Chainsaw are very good items. Still, first item value is strong. Moral Reminder can be a strong third item, fourth item on Viego very easily if you're versing like a Mundo. Like a Mundo, it might be good to go. Divine Sunder, Blade King, or Orbit's End, but probably Blade King against Mundo because he doesn't really deal magic damage. And then a Moral Reminder, and I think it would just shred him. Lower damage regards attack damage was 30, now it's 35, so slight AD carry buff. Magic damage reflected to attackers with Bramble Vest was 4, now it's 6. Pretty big buff. Grievous Smith was 25%, now it's 40%. Bramble Vest got one of the biggest buffs. That's a ginormous buff. Again, like, you just buy this, and all of a sudden champions like Fiora stay in check. All of a sudden champions like actually. That's crazy. 40%. Holy cow. And the damage got proved. That's a big Rammus buff. That's a ginormous Rammus buff. And what else happened? Thornmill damage, magic damage reflected to attackers was 10 and 20% bonus armor. Now it's 10 plus 25% bonus armor. And Grievous Wound was 25% on taking damage, 40% on mobilizing enemies. Now it's 40% on taking damage, and that's it. So on champions, like Mundo gets buffed because of this, and champion I don't know who else, but regardless, they ratio got buffed on Tormill. How come Tormill got buffed, but the other items didn't? I actually don't really understand that. Like, I don't know. Like, because they literally just nerfed this. I mean, I don't know, it's kind of a nerf. It's just like, I don't know why you would build these. It was weird. Like, these items, like this one got nerfed slash buffed with the gold. Like, no, the gold cost is lower with Chemtech, Putrefier. But they nerfed everything about it, so it's like, why would you even build this? Like, unless I'm underrating the healed and shield trait, but I don't think it's that good. Like, on Renata, Renata doesn't have heals. So, why would she build that? I don't know. Unless you build something like Moonstone, maybe? I don't know. But even then, I don't think so. And Morello's was changed where the gold cost was increased, but it was just like exchange for 100 HP for 10 magic pin. But like, well, why would you build it? Because you just buy a void staff. Um, yeah, but then like Thornmeal just got literally just straight up buff. It was just like, yep, we just gave it 5% more bonus armor, which is very strange. I don't. I'd like to know why, um, they were treated differently. I still kind of wish though that like it was just 40% taking damage, like because the one thing I don't like about the IDSD changes that annoys me personally is the Rambo Vest. If you attack them, you get 40% Grievous Wounds for 3 seconds, and then you upgrade a Thornmail, and all you really get, I mean, yeah, you get the stats, the mythic bonus and stuff, but so you get the 25% bonus armor ratio on the Thorns effect, but it's still the same 40% on taking damage. So I wonder again if there's an argument to be had to not even finish it. Although it might be like Thorn Mill's historically always been a strong item. This Thorn effect it got buffed too, so even Mundo Thorn Mill is a good item even though you couldn't apply it 40% grievous wounds. So I think Thorn Mill is like this one thing out of like all the items where it's still very strong to build even if they didn't buff this. Um, but I just wish it were, like it was like when you built Thornmill, it kept the 40% grievous wounds on taking damage, but you know, oh, the champions you see get 40% grievous wounds as well because the thing about things is like why should you hit them, and then it's kind of like you'll just take damage. So the counter to Thornmill is just don't attack the champion, like So I don't know. I like the with Johnny going Thornmill. You throw an Arden, that person has 40% grievous wounds. I used to like building Thornmill and Vi before, and when you ult, you apply 4% grievous wounds. That's not the case anymore. I kind of wish they kept that. I wish they kind of kept something unique. They could have even reworked the unique part about it into something else. I think that's kind of lazy because I think it's very boring for an item to go from like again, like you buy Execution Calling. Wow, what a cool effect! 40% grievous wounds. But then you finish Time Peg Chainsword, and it's just stats. You're just essentially just buying stats because and they're good stats. It's not to say it's a bad item, but you're buying an item and it still does the same unique effect. It's like, shouldn't we make items more interesting though? That's my argument. Um, Class changes. Infinity Edge. To proc the passive of IE's increased critical damage, it was 60% critical requirement. Now it's 40%. So 2 item power spike. I'm also curious on how strong the power spike is. Like on Viego, the thing about Viego is Kraken Slayer first. I think has historically been weaker than Blade King first. I'm not quite sure about that. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Blade King first is stronger than Viego, and it also because of the lifesteal in the general. And I'm not sure how much damage Kraken plus IE would do. Because it would not surprise me if Kraken plus Blade King did more damage than Kraken, IE, and Viego. But I might be wrong. And it's also hard to calculate that because of like RNG crit. So I don't know. Navori Quick Blades again, same thing. Was 60%, now it's 40%. Bloodthirster lifesteal was 18%, now it's 15%. Shield was 50 to 320, levels 1 through 18. Now the shield's 180 to 450, levels 9 through 18. Total cost was 3,400, now it's 3,200. That is a ginormous buff that Bloodthirster, you'll definitely see that item more. The lifesteal is inconsequential compared to the shield. It has, um, it's also gives more value to 80 carries taking resolve. Like, say, like they have a Soraka, you can take Bloodthirster plus um, well, the Blizzard should actually doesn't really matter, or does it? I'm not sure. How does that interaction work with the resolve? And was it? I'm not sure what it's called, but that was the resolve tree, the healed and shield strength. Does the healed and shield strength affect Bloodthirster? I guess because I don't know if it applies in lifesteal. I think it does, but that wasn't my main question. My main question was, does it improve the shield of Bloodthirster? I don't know. If it does, that's crazy. But regardless, yeah, 3% lifesteal nerf for a increased shield is way better, and also increased lower gold cost. So ginormous buff the bloodthirster. You'll definitely see it more. Especially in champions like Belveth. Like again, like it might be a thing to do things like I. It's interesting. Like you might see more. Like I'm very curious to do like Kraken Slayer, um, Kraken Slayer, i.e. Bloodthirster on like Belveth or Viego, because the thing with Belveth is that she wants to get you low fast or E does damage, so like doing that ginormous nuke with her Q can be really good. So I'm very curious on those builds. Like this is essentially a tank item. Like a Viego at level, 14, 15 with a 300 HP shield is freaking crazy. And he could also support it because, he's Viego with a Bloodthirster and does a lot of damage with healing, and he can also take that one rune that gives him healing. Um, Triumphs is so strong though, but I don't know. We'll see. Ash, mana growth. It was 32, now it's 35. Dude, I'm not saying all this. So pretty much a bunch of these champions got changed with mana growth. 80 carries can span to their heart's content. Caitlyn can, Ash can, Ezreal E. Oh my god, that change is crazy. Jin probably got the short end of the stick where you max his E last, so it doesn't matter. His W is max second, and like he's bro. I think he's still gonna have to build that. He didn't get a mana buff, so he's probably still gonna have to build it unless you're very conservative with Jin. Um, yeah, I think Jin's still gonna have to build Presence of Mind, Rip Jin. Uh, Jinx can spam more. Her zap was 50 to 90 mana. It's 50 to 70, so max second costs like nothing. That's crazy. Kaisa got huge mana increase. Misfortune, a huge contender for mana, has so much more mana now. Probably does not need Presence of Mind anymore. Senna, huge mana. What the? Why is she getting buffed? She's not even an AD carry. What the hell? She's a support, and she got buffed. Holy shit. Severe can spam the Heart's Content with her W. Twitch Twitch can spam to his heart's content, and Zaya can pretty much spam. Blader King got nerfed. Cooldown on the passive was or active passive effect was 20 seconds. Now it's 30 seconds. Range on hit damage was 8%. Now it's 9%. Siphon bonus active damage was 40 to 150. Levels 1 through 18. Now it's 40 to 103. Levels 9 through 18. I think overall that's a very good nerf to Blade King with his burst. I actually like that a lot. I think that nerf to Blade King. I think they pretty much trimmed like 40, 50 damage of nuke on it. I think that's a very good change. The range on hit damage, I'm curious about that. I think it's fine considering no one builds Blazer and King. However, you might need a nerf champions like Kog'Maw. That's like the only guy I think builds Blazer and King. Maybe Kalista. Hmm, I'm not sure. But yeah, Blazer and Kog'Maw's probably gonna have to get nerfed a little bit. I'm not sure if I said this. I think I did, but yeah, they should nerf Blazer and King from 12% melee to 11%. It annoys me they haven't done that. The mock embrace, it was 1.8% for melee champions and 0.8 for range champions. That was 1.6 for melee and 1% for range champions. So it's not really that big a nerf. This doesn't really impact champions like Maokai. It mostly impacts champions that stay in there for a while, like Mordekaiser and maybe Zac. Um, Mostly more. Maokai doesn't. It doesn't really matter. So I don't know. It's still a broken item. I also buffer range. What range champions build this item? I don't know. I don't know. Well, maybe they'll start building now. Essence Fever was buffed from 4580 to 5580, and gold cost was 2800. Now it's 2000. That was a better one slot item. It's pretty good butter rush item. Um, I don't know. This is ARAM. Chemtech. How come they have ARAM changes and then Chemtech Dragon? Should it be Chemtech Dragon and then ARAM? Because this is part of Summer's Rift. Chemtech Dragon buff was 5% tenacity and heal shield power. Now it's 6% tenacity and heal shield power. And the soul was 10% damage resistance and increased damage when below 50% HP. Now it's 11%. Um, that tenacity change is nice. So I think, yeah, it feels nice. I'm not sure how strong this dragon is. I don't really recall a game I made Chemtech Dragons. That's it. So yeah, tell me what you thought about this. I don't know. It's a weird patch overall. Like it's kind of good, but it kind of isn't. It's like there's some redundant changes slash questionable. AD carries just look broken as hell this patch too. Somehow Zac dodged nerfs, Maokai dodged like ginormous nerfs, and Kindred should have got nerfed a little bit more. And yeah, that's it. Bye.